of the energy need, it is met by the grid electricity. Nepal Electricity Authority provides grid electricity. Alternative Energy Promotion Center provides off-grid electricity. 48% of the electricity generated is consumed by households. 40% of Nepalese households have no access to grid electricity. Cow dung in Nepal generates 15% of total energy. If it was not used in agriculture, it can produce 40% of the total energy needed by the population. First hydropower was installed in Nepal in 1911. It is called Phoping hydropower and it is of 500 kilowatt capacity. Second hydropower was built in 1960 after a gap of 50 years. Modern drinking water supply, tap water, was installed in 1889. Modern irrigation system was installed in 1928. Per capita energy consumption per year for Nepal is 134 kilowatt per hour. When we compare it with Norway, it is 23,000 kilowatt per hour. Comparison with India gives the regional perspective. India consumes 733 kilowatts per hour and China consumes 4,000 kilowatt per hour. So, these are two neighboring countries. So, this gives us a perspective of energy consumption. 5,000 gigawatt of electrical energy is generated per year in Nepal. 33% is produced by Nepal Electrical Authority, 33% is produced by independent power producer corporations. So, there are private companies also which are producing, which are constructing hydropowers and producing electricity, and 33% is imported from India. Nepal Electrical Authority, it is a government organization, generates 480 megawatt of electricity mainly by 23 hydropower plants owned mainly by Nepal Electrical Authority. So, grid electricity comes mainly from the hydropower plants. There are 30,000 water mills currently operating in Nepal. Being a Himalayan country, Nepal has the capacity to generate 45,000 megawatt of electricity through its water resources. It ranks 5th in the world. 50 hydropowers are built in private sector. There are 305147 biogas plants in Nepal. In mountainous region there are 4960, in hill there are 1471140 biogas plants. In the plains, this is Tarai means plains, there are 153074 plants and 28,070 are rehabilitated plants. The government of Nepal has been promoting construction of biogas plants since 1974-75. Government of Nepal gives subsidies to the households which want to install biogas plants. So, I will share the results and experiences from following sample surveys. So, survey of 400 households of biogas users, survey of 300 households of normal national grid energy users and survey of 51 households of micro hydro project users. So, objective of all these surveys was to do evidence based study of overall benefits of clean energy processes, to study such benefits on consumers in general and women in particular, to focus more on indirect cause effect benefits than direct attributable advantages as they are obvious, to keep clean energy use at the core and collect and study data on the variables related to energy use, to conduct quantitative analysis of categorical data generated and analyzed, to have a large sample size for the application of central limit theorem for statistical validity. So, altogether this is we had 750 households. So, 62 households had family size of 1 to 3, 603 households had family size of 4 to 8, 82 households had family size of 9 to 14, 4 households had family size of 15 to 24. So, here we have 381 households from hill and 370 households from plains, and 400 biogas users, 300 national grid energy users, and 51 micro hydro project users. So, micro hydro project is off grid electricity. The Alternative Energy Promotion Center gives subsidies to communities, and they build micro hydros on their own initiatives and own incentives. So, area of survey, these are 1, 2, 3, 4, these 4 areas. From these 4 areas we conducted sample survey of 700 households. So, what is the importance of studies, such studies for countries with limited and scarce data? Countries in developing world do not have a strong background or backbone of good quality official records. Remote geographical locations, lack of awareness and lack of incentives have resulted in inefficient registration of vital events. What gets measured also gets done, especially when study is related to sustainable development goals. Such studies supplement official records. Methodology: a detailed structured questionnaire was pre-tested and finalized for all these surveys. Data were collected on more than 400 variables related to the consumers of clean energy sources, biogas, micro hydro project and national grid. More than 370 variables resulted in categorical data. These data could be classified on nominal or ordinal scale. The core questionnaire was same, only questions relevant to clean energy sources was changed. Questionnaires are like measurement instruments. Clean energy use was kept at the core, and all the relevant information like improvement in the status of women, improvement in the socio-economic status, health conditions were asked. So, methodologies were developed for refining and testing the questionnaire, developed methods for minimizing the error in data collection and data entry. Now, I will talk about the survey of biogas consumers. 400 households of biogas consumers, a survey was conducted. It was conducted in 3 different regions of Nepal. The entire data collection process of 400 households comprising of 2272 individuals was completed in 15 days. It was done by the graduates of our university. 2 research assistants assisted in the pre-testing of the questionnaire, and 5 research assistants helped in the entire data collection process. These are some biogas consumers. Now, just to give you a broad idea how the biogas works, here in this slurry, this cow dung is put and it is mixed. It goes here in this structure is normally inside the earth, and here methane gas is generated. This gas goes through the pipe and it is used in the kitchen, and there is a liquid that this liquid is used as manure in the fields as a fertilizer. So, this shows pre-test the questionnaire on 30 households in one. Here we pre-tested the questionnaire and then conducted the survey of 370 households of biogas users in 3 and 4. So, these are the students who collected the data of 400 households of biogas users. So, these are the variables, like there were 54 variables related to the socio-economic condition of renewable energy users. How does their socio-economic status change? Then similarly, there were 44 questions related to women empowerment. How does the status of a woman changes when that family uses biogas? Similarly, time spent, how much time was saved? Time spent on the collection of firewood before the construction of biogas plant and after the construction of biogas plant. Similarly, sources of firewood, from where was the firewood bought. So, in detail, all keeping the biogas consumption at the core, all the relevant information related to biogas consumption was collected. So, a consumer profile database was constructed. So, this is the form view of the consumer profile database. Now, I will just discuss about the questionnaire. It comprised of 63 questions and it was a very detailed questionnaire. So, per household 40 to 45 minutes was spent. So, we did it in collaboration with the partner industry which had installed biogas in these households. So, in these 63 questions we collected data from 400 households. These 400 households comprised of 2272 individuals. They were from different age groups. We collected information on age groups, their amount of land holding, livestock, their fuel wood consumption before and after the installation of plant. For example, just one example, the status of women was assessed in these users, in these households of clean energy users, like who collected the firewood before the construction of the plant and after, how was the energy, the use of clean energy, renewable and non-renewable both, how was the use of energy beneficial to women and how was the time saved utilized. So, this is a questionnaire, it was a structured questionnaire and categorical data was generated, like these are the questions. Here we talk about like how much time was spent on the collection of firewood before the plant and after the plant. This questionnaire was kept, the core questions were kept common in all three surveys so that the result could be generalized, like how much money was saved, how much fuel wood was saved. So, and these were the options, the answers were given in categories and the questionnaire was pre-tested so that these answers were all relevant to the response of the respondents and these were converted into ordinal data. Similarly, we had for National Grid energy users same kind of questionnaire, only the specific questions relevant to National Grid energy users were changed, rest of the questions were kept the same. So, we collected data of 300 households from these National Grid energy users. Similarly, micro hydro project questionnaire, here also we generated categorical data which tried to assess in detail the change in the socioeconomic status of the household when they started using the clean energy process, change in the status of women after they started using clean energy. It was noted that a lot of time was saved when that household switched over to a renewable energy source and that time which was saved was utilized by women of the household for income generation and this improved their socio-economic status as well and improved the role of women in decision making process and hence made them more empowered. So, these are some photos of clean energy users. We conducted one income generation seminar also, like livestock rearing and animal husbandry, and these are National Grid energy users. So, when survey of 300 households of energy users were conducted, it comprised, this 300 household comprised of 1886 individuals, and this was in and we collected the data related to energy consumption dynamics, and this was done, we linked the survey with the local microcredit society which gave loan for biogas construction, and we explored this project strategy. So, this survey was also done in collaboration with the partner industry, which was a biogas industry which has installed more than 200,000 biogas plants in Nepal. Now, this is the micro hydro. This micro hydro generates 17 kilowatt of electricity. So, the water comes through this, there is a pipe, penstock pipe, water comes through this pipe, it runs, there is a turbine inside this hydropower, and it generates 17 kilowatt of energy, and it lights 179 households. So this hydropower was, this micro hydro was constructed through local incentives, like community, they generated funds, and Alternative Energy Promotion Center also gave them some subsidies. So community constructed this micro hydro, and 179 households get electricity from this micro hydro, and this is off grid electricity. So this is this is the water canal. This hydropower works only from 6 p.m. in the evening till 6 a.m. in the morning. It generates electricity only in the evening, and during the daytime the water is left for irrigation. So the community has put one, you know, a watchman who is a person from that community. He operates, he sits in this hydropower at the night, and the electricity is generated from 6 p.m. in the evening till 6 a.m. in the morning. 17 kilowatt of electricity for 179 households.
How do they regulate frequency? The guy does it manually. So how do they make sure that the demand and the supply?
It's 100 kilowatt. It's just minimum electricity. 17 kilowatt for 179 household is very less. It is just for lighting you know, 0 watt bulb and running the rice cooker. So that is also a lot of help to them, because otherwise they have to light kerosene wick or candle. So just lighting a 100 watt bulb, a 0 watt bulb, and cooking their rice in rice cooker is enough. So no regulation is done. Every house receives 17 kilowatt is distributed to 179 households for lighting a 0 watt bulb, and very simple distribution system. And 179 households contribute about 20,000, 30,000 rupees from their pocket in the construction of this micro hydro, and Alternative Energy Promotion Center gives the rest. So gives the rest. So till they get that grid electricity, there are many such examples in Nepal, that till the grid electricity comes to their home. Grid electricity is normally a government initiative, government incentive. So till that time the community collaborate and make their own micro hydro. So this is an example of that. This micro hydro was established in 2010. It is approximately 70 kilometers to the north of Kathmandu. Water from Karamdana Khola is stored in the reservoir and runs through the penstock pipe, generating 17 kilowatt of electricity. 7 communities of MHP users use electricity generated from this micro hydro project. There are 179 households that use electricity from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Electricity consumption per household is 100 watt, and it is used for lighting purposes. A sample of 51 households was selected from 7 communities from a population size of 179 households. So a structured questionnaire comprising of 60 questions were designed for this survey as well, and information was collected on age distribution, amount of land holding, livestock, their fuel expenses before and after the installation of plant, and change in their lifestyle after MHP microhydro project was used as a source of lighting. This survey also resulted in multivariate data. Data were nominal, ordinal, interval and ratio in nature out of 386 variables of consumer profile database on a sample of 51 households. 49 proxy asset indicators were identified. So socioeconomics, this is an example of study of socioeconomic improvement in the socioeconomic status of the household after they started using microhydro project. So 49 proxy asset indicators were identified, and these are closely interlinked to the socioeconomic structure of microhydro consumers. Due to sensitivity of the topic, Asset indicators are more accurate and reliable than exact monetary accounts. So, this biogas plant was constructed by our university. So, this person represents a partner industry, and here a new design of biogas plant was tested. Normally biogas plant works in warm climate, and here we tested a design of a biogas plant made with silica cement, and it was insulated. So, this biogas plant could generate biogas even in cold climates of Nepal. So, this design was tested by our university, and this is myself, and this is the representative from partner industry. He helped us conduct all the other 3 surveys also. The 400 household biogas consumers, he had constructed biogas in their houses, and then the other surveys also. So, now I will just share some results, like we try to model the benefit of biogas using multinomial logistic regression. So, time saved, it is denoted by variable C. It was regressed on distance travelled, denoted by B, distance travelled before the biogas plant by A, amount of firewood saved after the plant construction by H. Now, we asked females, how did you benefit from this clean energy process? So, many responded that it reduced pollution, many responded that it reduced fuel expenses. Similarly, we asked male of the household also, how did clean energy process help them, and their response on reduced pollution and reduced fuel expenses. All these were taken into consideration while modeling the benefit of biogas using multinomial logistic regression, and we quantified the impact using odds ratio. So, positive impact of biogas is measured with multinomial logistic regression and odds ratio, and the data is all categorical data which is classified on ordinal scale. So, this was multinomial logistic regression, and the accuracy obtained was 62.8%. Now, if we analyze these variables like A, B, C, D, and these are the descriptive statistics, these variables were used in the multinomial logistic regression result shown in the previous slide and in the odds ratio. So, these variables also give an idea of the energy consumption dynamics of biogas users. So, we see that in response to question A, what was A? The average response was 4, the model response was 5. So, that means out of 400 households of biogas consumers, people used to cover 200 to 500 meters per day for collection of firewood before the biogas plant, but after the use of a clean energy process, from 200 to 500 meters per day, the distance covered reduced to 100 meters per day, and this 100 meter B is the variable which represents the distance covered after the construction of biogas plant. And then this difference, this was also quantified with multinomial logistic regression. So, distance travelled is reduced substantially by how much time is saved per day is represented by C, and category 3 was the popular choice. It implies that 1 to 3 hours per day is saved. So, for biogas consumers, 1 to 3 hours per day is saved, and this is also a lot of time. This time is utilized for income generating activities. So, female work in the farm, thus is money spent on extra help is saved. So, the socio-economic status of the family improves once more time is saved after a switch to clean energy process like biogas and micro hydro project, and national grid energy, which is also mainly hydropower in Nepal. Similarly, the response of firewood saved is represented by H, and category 4 is the mode. This represents saving of more than 50 kilogram of, so 50 kilogram of, more than 50 kilogram of firewood is saved per month, and the benefit of reduced fuel expenses have been ranked higher by male respondents than female. Many transactions are carried outside the market, as it is very difficult to find their value in terms of money, because the biogas users are farmers, and if we have to find their socioeconomic status, we have to identify proxy asset indicators. Further, direct questions related to socioeconomic status are subject to maximum bias. In such a situation, other proxies of household wealth were used to assess their socioeconomic status. Such proxy questions indirectly assessed the socioeconomic status. They were related to possession of material goods, their living conditions like type of toilet, access to drinking water, etc. Out of 386 variables, 49 indicator asset variables can be classified into 4 groups. So, this is second example how the socioeconomic status of micro hydro project users was assessed after they switched over to micro hydro project. So, there was 4 groups of asset indicators. In first group we asked questions related to their asset ownership, like house, do they have a house, what kind of electronic equipments do they have in their homes, like computer, TV, radio, mobile, refrigerator, etc. And the students, the students who were involved in this survey, they could go inside the house and they could observe these asset indicators. 5 minutes, okay. So, similarly, the characteristic of house dwelling, it had 6 questions. Here, material used in the construction of the house was used to assess the status of the household. Then next group was the water source. Water source, what was the source of their water? Did they have private well, open well, or community used water supply was used to assess the socioeconomic status of the household. And these are all house, type of house, water source are all proxy asset indicators, as they can be the data on such asset indicators can be collected on the basis of observation. Then the last is amount of land and indicator variables. So, principal component analysis was conducted and 8 orthogonal principal components, 61% of the variability was explained by 8 principal components. So, out of 49 variables it got reduced to 8. 2 principal components explain 24% of the total variation. So, these are some results which were published in different journals relevant to the objective of these surveys. Thank you. So, if you have any question, please ask me.
So, I discovered that moving from wood to biogas was moving towards clean